Lucas is behind bars and fighting to clear his name in the latest episode of When Goes the Heart Season 9. Meanwhile, the oil company investors arrive in Hobali, which brings up unhappy memories for some of the town's residents. Plus, Rosemary gets some unexpected news in the May 8 episode of the Hallmark Channel series. Hello Hearties, welcome back to our channel. Let's have a complete review of When Goes the Heart Season 9 Episode 10. Lucas landed in jail at the end of the last week's episode of When Goes the Heart. Bill and Nathan discovered secret account books hidden in his office. They suggest he was in league with Wyman Walden. Elizabeth believes Lucas is innocent, but not everyone in town agrees with her. Fortunately, Bill gets a crucial piece of information from the man involved in Nathan's hit and run. The reckless driver says he was speeding out of town after planting evidence in Lucas's office on Walden's orders. The man's testimony could clear Lucas, but in exchange he wants the charges against him dropped. Nathan has a choice: let the man go free to save Lucas, or insist that he is punished for what he did, even if it means Lucas goes to prison. At first, he is outraged that Bill's even considering accepting a plea deal, but eventually he agrees to let the matter drop, realizing that letting an innocent man go to prison would be a greater injustice. Elizabeth knows this is a huge sacrifice for the Mountie to make, and she gives him a heartfelt hug in thanks. With Lucas sprung from jail, he is free to sit down with the oil company investors. Jerome Smith and Arthur Gilchrist arrive from San Francisco to hammer out the details of the agreement, but negotiations hit a stumbling block over the question of whether they plan to reopen the long-shuttered coal mine. Mr. Gilchrist says the mine issue isn't as simple as it's been characterized. There's a tense look between him and Mr. Smith as he says those words, suggesting that he and Smith might not be on the same page. Gilchrist also insists on visiting the mine site and asks Joseph to tell him about the disaster that killed so many of the town's men. It seems possible he will end up realizing that reopening the mine would cause more harm than good. But does Gilchrist have the final say? During a separate meeting, Smith tells Cowan that he planned to reopen the mine is all Gilchrist's idea. However, we have just his words for that. Gavin continues to argue that the mine can't be made safe, but Smith eventually convinces him to help run the mine, with the promise that things will be different this time. Is Henry backsliding into his old ways, or does he see this as a lesser of two evils? Perhaps he believes that by taking an active role in running the mine, he can prevent another disaster. Gavin's motive in signing on with Smith aren't clear, but what's obvious is that reopening the mine will reopen old wounds in Hope Valley. Rosemary thinks the community deserves to know what's happening. She is determined to publish an article in the Valley Voice about the deal, but she got her information through a private conversation with Elizabeth. The two friends clash over Rosemary's plan to publish the article. Rosemary thinks she has a journalistic duty to share the story. Elizabeth worries that Lucas, whose reputation has already taken a hit because of the Walden mess, will be blamed. The story is front-page news in the next day's paper. Predictably, it sends shockwaves through town. Both Florence and Molly, who lost their husbands in the mine collapse, are devastated. Gavin approaches them on the street and tries to apologize, but Florence doesn't want to hear it. She slaps Gavin. "How could you let this happen?" she asks. While Rosemary struggles with letting Elizabeth know of her decision to break her confidence, she is also dealing with a major secret. The episode begins with her suffering from what seems to be a bout of the stomach flu. But a consultation with Dr. Carter reveals the truth. She is probably pregnant. Rosemary is stunned with the news. She and Lee had all but given up hope of having a baby, and the happiness is mixed with uncertainty. It's early in the pregnancy, and she tells Faith she doesn't want to tell Lee until she is absolutely sure. Otherwise, it would just break his heart. She says, though Lee is still in the dark about the baby, Rosemary can't keep the truth from Elizabeth. The friends patch up their differences about the mine story, with Elizabeth admitting that publishing was the right thing to do. Rosemary then reveals her huge news, though she doesn't actually need to say the words out loud for Elizabeth to realize what's going on. Also, how appropriate is that Rosemary learns she's expecting a baby in the show's Mother's Day episode. Next episode of When Cost the Heart Season 9 airs Sunday, May 15 at 8 p.m. ET on Hallmark Channel. So this much for today's video. We hope you liked it. We will deliver more news of When Cost the Heart as it comes in. We will have all the burning When Cost the Heart spoilers, updates, and news you're looking for. So visit us regularly. Thank you for checking this video out. We will see each other very soon with another video. If you like this video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for new videos every day. If you have anything to say, do let us know in the comment section below. We'll make sure to reply to your comments.